Hi everyone. I started a video and I took a risk opening my store is open. I had a customer come in, so I halted that. So I'm just sort of starting fresh again with the topic of how it looks to heal naturally, what that looks like, and what the healing crisis is, what it is and what it isn't, and to compare alternative if we call it alternative, but it's really the true healing. So holistic healing, whole body healing, proper healing, nutritional healing, and the versus conventional suppressive therapies and treatments, what those two look like and what real healing looks like, and dispel some of the myths around this, and also to help you understand when you're on the right track, when you're running a healing protocol and you aren't sure when something strange occurs. We are in a very fear-based asylum. It's like an asylum, okay, just gonna say, in our slave system, because we're all enslaved economically to the system that is hell-bent on destroying us, not helping, not helping. And if you don't know that, you don't know much. And we are trying to overcome what the shadow elite have been working on us for a very long time, including taking away our holistic medicine and taking away our choices and also our informed consent. And what I'm trying to do is help you understand from an educated perspective how to become empowered and to have your own informed consent knowledge that you can then take forward and make your very healthy decisions for yourself and your loved ones. And so hopefully that we can survive this apocalypse that is now among us, with us happening, which is the great reveal. The great reveal is really seeing what's happening behind the scenes, pulling the curtain aside and seeing that the men behind the curtain, so to speak. The suppressive avenues in which are have been taken over in the last 150 years by the Rockefeller, Morgan, Carnegie, Vanderbilt establishment, which came in and pushed out all the homeopathic hospitals, the naturopathic hospitals, the holistic hospitals and doctors, practitioners, the osteopaths, the midwives, all the real nature doctors, the true nature doctors, the iridologists, the proper people the chiropractors, all the people who know how the body actually works. And they put in the quacks, which are now what we call the MDs and most of the nurses. And these are the people who use only suppressive medicine because that's all they're allowed to use by their handlers. And that's the government, the schools, and their associated boards, which bully them, coerce them, and fear intimidate them into towing the party line. That's what's going on. And when you go into that system with a boo-boo, say you break your arm or you get in a car accident or something serious happens, the role that they're supposed to play is as emergency medicine to get you out of a crisis state, get the jaws of life involved, and then stabilize you so that you can move on out of the suppressive medicine and into proper healing. And I argue, and I've argued in a few other videos, that if we had not had this elite, very, very wealthy, small handful of men manipulate the system at that time, as well, that was also the time of the Federal Reserve, which started to degrade things even further towards this agenda, we would have had an emergency med that was also holistic, and we wouldn't have to use suppressive therapies, hardly, really hardly. We would immediately start to engage the natural life force and the healing ability that is innate within every one of us to overcome whatever it might have been. However, being in the system that we are, that's what we have and that's what we work with. So that's just an addendum to what I just said about the emerge medicine being pretty much the only thing they've got. I'm trying to be nice here, okay? All right, now, a suppressive medicine has a symptom that they see, and then they give a drug, a therapy, a poison to make the symptom disappear, and it's magic. It's a magic show, all right? It's an illusion. You have to not fall for the magic show, because what it says is, now you see it, now you don't. There it is. It's gone. Look how amazing the magician is with the magic hands. that it's now gone. Look at us, we saved you. Aren't we amazing? Off you go now, tell the world, tell them all. That's what they use. And then they also use this tactic, the fear tactic. Well, if you don't, this really bad thing's going to happen to you, and I'm going to trigger all of your worst childhood fears in this little message that I'm getting to you, and I'm going to make sure that you just do everything that I say and take everything that I want you to take. Because if you don't, you're a bad, bad girl or boy, right? And they use that fear tactic all the time to get you into their system that is all based on manipulation and suppression. And the other problem is once you get one intervention, it begets another, because once you toy with this perfect, intelligent, self-healing piece of art that this body is, body, mind, spirit complex is, then you got to come in and you're always got to keep messing with the mess. Because one mess makes another mess, makes another mess, and then it's a make-work project for many to get rich off of. So the step one is don't do it in the first place. It's harder once you've done it, okay? Any and everything that you can imagine can be healed naturally, holistically, and in a very beautiful way, all right? And I did do a video on that talking about how every disease can be healed. And you can watch that. It's on my YouTube channel, which is Yummy Mummy Emporium and Apothecary. And my website, if you, since we're going there, is yummymummyemporium.org or .ca. I have both, all right? And it's important that you understand that you have to do the work that is presented to you. So if you have something come up in your body, it's saying, attention, attention, symptom. Symptom is saying, something's wrong. Something's going on with my body. I haven't been paying attention to that part of my body. Or I have an issue emotionally that I've pulled into my body into physical way, because if we don't deal with our emotional realm, we physicalize it. We put it into our physical form. Okay? And that's harder to work through, by the way, once you do that. Sometimes we can't avoid it, and we don't want to go into shame, blame, or any of that. It's just the path. It's just what happened. And then you go, that happened, and I forgive myself and I accept it, and now I'm going to move through it, and I got to get this through my body, which is work. It's work. It takes effort. It takes focus. It takes discipline. You can't just sit on the couch and watch your TV brainwashing and eat bonbons and think that that symptom's going to go away. It's not, without you doing something about it. And I think it's such an amazing way of awakening all of us, because when you're in pain and when you're suffering, you start to seek, you start to look at answers. If you're already a seeker, if you're already proactive, often the suffering, well, it's not to say the suffering is the suffering, but it depends on your path. But I'm saying that on that, something that will come passively because you've ignored it versus something that you've been proactive at are very different paths, okay? When you have suppressed something for so long, it will change. It will go deeper. When people have a lump or a bump and they go into the medical mafia establishment, and the medical mafia establishment says, oh, little boy or girl, you have cancer. It's very, very scary. So you must do what we say. And what we know is that 3% of cancers go away when you do chemo and radiation. That's the best we've got, so you better do it. And you go, oh, okay, doctor, I'll do it, whatever you say, I'm in your hands, right? That is like the worst mistake of your life right there. And I have thousands of testimonies of people that will sit in the chair across from me and tell me they wish they never did it. If they could go back in time to that procedure, to that suggestion, to that drug therapy, to that chemo, to that radiation, all that jazz, I'd say only 1 or 2% ever say they're thankful for it. Most of them, I wish it never happened to me. And even that 1 or 2%, I'd say give it more time. They will also go, shh, I wish I never did that to myself, okay? Because once you go there, it's really hard to come back from it. Now, again, this is aside from life-saving, you know, jaws of life stuff. Okay, fine. There's a place for it, like I said at the beginning. but mostly all the stents and the cutting out of intestinal tract and all this kind of thing. You can't put that back after. You know, I had my tonsils removed, and I've been suffering to this day from that. I had improperly removed tooth, suffering to this day for that intervention. I was given all of these antibiotics as a child. Took me most of my life, most of my 44 years to heal from that, to heal from the toxic burden of the useless, fraudulent vaccines that were, you know, put into my body from a baby. A lifetime of healing from that. And I will never be the potential that I was, you know, born to be. Never. That's the shame of it, okay? When you are healing naturally, so when you have a symptom and you go, oh, my body is showing me something, and you do the right thing where you give it the proper nutrition, you change the behavior, you change what you're putting in your mouth, you detox the system, you help it do what it does, which is it has to get rid of exogenous waste. It has to flush and clean up the debris of the blood. It has to make sure the blood is functioning properly. It has to make sure the tissues are oxygenated. It has to make sure that the acids and the bases are where they're supposed to be. It has to make sure that the tissue's in integrity so it doesn't get leaky, and allow bacteria, which is 7% of your entire body weight, to go into other areas of the body. Like, for example, the H. pylori that is naturally in your lung tissue to leak into your gastrointestinal tract. That happens because the tissue is slowly losing its slack, because it cannot, it's under chronic inflammation. It is trying to mount the healing expression, and because of your choices, it's not able to. Because of the stress levels, it's not able to. Because of the nutritional deficiencies, it's not able to. Because of the electromagnetic fields, it's not able to. Because of the mold in your home, it's not able to. Whatever the factors that are involved in that, that is where your mind's supposed to go, well, this has to change. Now, once you do that, there is a direction in which the body starts to heal. So the direction of suppression is it's going from the outermost layers, then it will go deeper. So like I was saying, with the chemo and radiation, when they go in for the chemo and radiation, what it does to the tumor is it suppresses it. It makes it the illusion, the magic show comes in and makes the illusion of the tumor goes away. My tumor's gone. I'm healed. But you're not healed, because the tumor has just shrunken and gone where? Deeper. Usually what happens soon after that are the bone mets, the bone metastasis, the brain. Deeper organ systems then is where it goes to. It just spreads itself out. When it's healing properly, it goes outward. It goes back into solution. It goes out through the liver. It might go out through the kidneys. It might go out as gases through the lungs. It might come out through the skin. It might come out as an emotion. It might be an angry bitch. Sometimes I'm an angry bitch, but depends on the morning. Right? But that's the way we're supposed to express as our healing. The expression is the healing. The suppression is the disease force, and it has a direction. If you look up amazing homeopathic Dr. Herring, his law of cure is from above to below, so it goes from head. So if there's something going on in the brain, that's prioritized. It will prioritize, and then to without, so it will prioritize down the arms, down the legs. So, you know, feet and legs would be last, truncal would be first, from within to without, vital organs first, then stuff like skin and hair and nails, and even teeth, external tissues last. So it has a direction of healing, direction of cure, okay, from up to down, from inside to out, like an onion. They often you'll see the analogy in alternative circles of the onion being peeled, okay? That is the way you're supposed to heal. Now, does it look like rainbows and butterfly wings when you heal? Like, I'm healing and I feel so amazing. Sometimes. But sometimes it's like you are on a roller coaster with a child in the front who's vomiting and it's going towards your face. You're not enjoying it, right? Kind of like that. So oftentimes, because we're so sick as a cult, as a culture, in this media controlled hypnotic world that we're all enslaved into and programmed into, and if you don't break free, you don't know much, because you can't see in. You have to get your perspective by breaking free of the matrix and looking in and seeing, holy crap, look at this, which takes its own toll, which takes its own time. And by the way, when you heal this way, you usually awaken. So that's the other sort of side effect that the establishment does not want you to have. Because when they see how badly that you're being scammed by tax fraud, by all of the lies, by all of the deceit, you're going to go, no, man, no thanks, right? And if everyone does that, they're done. There's a bigger thing going on. Get your ear perked up to it. Get your third eye decalcified and start to see what's happening. It's important. It's the rest of where we're headed. And so far it's, I don't know. Is it good? Is it not good? It's definitely going to get nasty, because guess what? The healing crisis in our collective understanding is going to be severe, because we've been suppressing for so long. We've been hiding behind our TV screens for so long that when it finally, the crash comes, or whatever's going to happen, you know, the economic turmoil, whatever it looks like, that Band-Aid is going to be ripped off and it's going to hurt. And should be, you know, if we did it earlier, it would have been less painful. And it's the same thing with your body, and the same thing with detoxing. When you are actually going to heal something and you apply detox protocols, like I like my Unda kidney and liver drainage kits, you can find that on my website. I like the Picana products for detoxing the organs and helping them function properly. When you put the nutrients back in, when you go off the cooked, dead flesh, you know, pasteurized pop, candy, sugar, junk world, and you start to eat fresh living fruit, mainly fruit, because it's the most easiest to digest. That's why. Later you can do veggies and all that kind of stuff. Stay away from the grains, stay away from all the stuff we're really not supposed to eat. Fruit is what you're supposed to eat. Fruit doesn't kill anything, doesn't kill anybody. The tree grows, the tree drops the fruit, you pick up the fruit, you eat it, throw the stone in the end, nobody dies. Right? Everything else, something dies. Soil's abused or the animal's abused, but it's really a fruit-based tropical living is really what we were meant to. Some even argue winters weren't even real back when. So what I'm saying is that's the type of native food source that we're meant to eat when we are trying to get nutrients and have our digestive system assimilating those nutrients. When you are then trying to do the detoxing, usually what happens is you start to express the toxins out of your body. And I've talked about this in a few other videos of how to heal the liver properly, how to try to prevent some of the worst of the healing crises, because you ideally, in a dream world, you want to avoid it. But what a general or gentle looking healing crisis appears to look like is something like when you quit coffee. You get a headache, you feel tired, some brain fog, you need to sleep more, you need to rest more, you know, you feel slower. You can't just keep up your pace. That is a healing crisis, okay? That is your body going, oh, thank God. She stopped putting the poison in. Wow, what happened? Oh, great. So I guess can we now fix what we were, you know, wanting to fix? Can we heal these systems? Can we get this garbage out? Great, let's do that. You might get a rash on your skin. All the eczemas and psoriasis and all these things. By the way, there are no autoimmune diseases. Stop. Whoever's touting the autoimmune stuff, stop it. Stop. You're just perpetuating the same lies of our handlers. There are no such things. It's toxicity, okay? Arthritis is toxicity. Autoimmune is toxicity, and usually parasites. Stop with the labels of this. It's like your body attacking yourself. Your body does not attack itself. Your body is not a stupid idiot. Your body is going, that, whatever is in that tissue, is a vital danger to your longevity. And it's actually better to break down that tissue and you be in pain and you be bedridden than for it to not, because then you be dead. Okay? That's what's happening. It's not a mistake. And I have a couple of cases of that right now. And I just say, look, your healing crisis is going to suck, baby. I'm sorry. It's just going to suck. You're going to be in pain. You might not sleep that well. You need to be bed rest. You need to be eating fruits. You need to be doing deep breathing. You need to be drinking lots of pure water. You need to be getting as much nutrients in the body as possible. And, you know, get your botanical medicine involved, get your homeopathic medicine involved, and that will assist with some of the detox symptoms and alleviate them a little. And that's where a nuanced practitioner can really help you to sort of tweak this here and tweak this here. Like for one example, I have a patient, she has bone pain. Eupatorium perfoliatum is the Latin name of the homeopathic remedy. Take that for bone pain, help the bones come back, help the marrow return its role of making the blood cells and so forth, you know. And that is not using it in a suppressive way. It's helping the body go, oh, we just needed that little bit of help. Thank you. Like, here's what you need. You know, I use the analogy a lot. If you want to rebuild your body, like I just had a bathroom reno. You think that was pretty? You think that was painless? I have a beautiful bathroom now, but do you think what it was in between? It was ugly, it was messy, it was stinky, it was dirty, it was stressful, you know? It was way more stuff. So it went from a contained amount of stuff to a chaotic amount of stuff to getting rid of a bunch of stuff to then reorganizing all that. And even in the reorganizing was all the wastes, packaging materials or whatever, right? And then, voila, it didn't just magically come like that, right? It's a process, and it makes a lot of wastes, and you are asking the body to now heal itself, heal the structures properly, and tear down all the crap and put in the nice new system, all the nice new plumbing, right? The new shiny bathtub. Well, that comes at a cost. It's a worthwhile cost, but that means you're going to be laid up and you should be resting, ideally. So people will come to me like, oh, you know, Amanda, it's weird. When, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, I had this weird pain in my leg, deep in my leg, and I haven't felt it for a few years, but now that I'm doing the detox, I feel it again like I did before. And you know what I say? Great news. And they're like, huh? That is awesome news, because that means you are healing back the layers. So another law of cure is that you heal from, you know, what you had, where you're at, you go backwards through the layers. So you kind of go back in time. So old injuries that you thought were healed, but they really weren't, now have the energy and the resources to heal, and they never had before. Dr. Robert Morse, which is amazing ND, and I love him, and he's just this, yeah, kind of guy where he's just like really, you know, throws caution to the wind. I love him. And, you know, he talks about the healing crisis. And he says, you know, he had an injury on his head, scraped a lot of his head off. And he had a lot of issues with health issues. And when he finally figured out how to heal and was healing himself, he said the pain came back in his head like it had never healed, or like it had just happened all over again. And that was the body finally properly healing it. That's normal. So it's called return of old symptoms. So I really like when I see in cases the return of old symptoms, because we know we're getting to the right direction of cure, and we're getting to the deeper layered stuff, and that there's enough energy for that to even happen. The right energy. People think it's painless. It's not. You know, the colds and flus, you know, there's no such thing as colds and flus. I know that sounds so radical, but it's a lie. It's a big pharma myth. Actually, it's a big government myth. It started off as a propaganda tool to scare, the germ theory it was used to scare people into the invisible world so that they would obey. their masters, right? Because if you can't see something and it's the boogeyman and you tell them it's something, we're so naive. We're so naive. We just believe whatever these people say. Oh, it's a bacteria or an invisible virus has come and given you this magical disease, you know? And we're like, really? Oh my God, what do I do? You know, with no questioning about the agenda of the person who said it, with no other fact or evidence, you just go, yep, must be it, right? That is a chief fault of the human condition. It's also a wonderful trait to be trusting, but also not to be naive, right? That myth has gone on for a very long time and is the basis of the chemical medical establishment that we see today. That's the suppressive therapy, and it's all blaming the boogeyman on the disease. A cold or a flu is your healing expression of phlegm, because the body makes phlegm when it needs to get out crap, because that's the way we drain. We drain through the sinuses, we drain through the lungs. You know how much mucus comes up through the lungs? I'm sure you've experienced it. Isn't it nice? They call them what? Lung cookies? That's really, really, really nice. Lung cookies. That's not, oh, I caught something. I caught something. No. That's you going, oh, I think it's time to detox. So let's knock her out, give her a fever, and make her all snot filled and diarrhea filled, and maybe she'll get a rash and probably a headache, right? That's a healing crisis right there. So healing crises often look like a cold or flu. So people start to heal and there's like, it's so weird, I got a cold. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's part of your healing. Good job, keep going, right? And that's why the whole cold and flu industry is so much bollocks. Flu shot. I did a video on how only dummies get flu shots. Don't be a dummy. Don't fall for the scam. You know, the scam of selling you something you don't need. And not only that, what it sells you is later disease, because those vaccines are the later cancers that you get. You may survive the initial vaccine reaction, but later you will get a disease expression. And usually it's in form of a lump or a bump or whatever, okay? Please, I have to say, it is vital to avoid this medicine. Or it's not even medicine. Medicine is I like the word medicine. This poison the suppressive poisons. Avoid it like literally the plague, which actually is a detox reaction. There's no plague. That is a detox reaction. Most of the plagues were poisoning, well poisoning on some level. Okay? People say, oh, I got a flu, I have a stomach flu. I'm like, every time they say I have a stomach flu, I'm like, what'd you eat? What'd you eat? Oh, yeah, we went out for dinner at that place. I don't know if they were that clean. Yeah, it's probably food poisoning. That's what that is. Or you ate something that your body said, get it out of my body. And your immune system went, okay. And there you are in a flu. Just throw the word in the garbage, please. It's not what's going on. You have to retrain your thinking and retrain your brain. You can watch my videos on how no viruses exist. That is a lie, a big lie. You know that the modern medical cult will not even acknowledge a complete lineage of cells in our blood called somatids, also known as microzyma, that come off of your red blood cell membranes that create your bacteria, your own endemic funguses and yeasts and molds, and what they're calling viruses, which are packets of DNA or RNA that are sent to damaged tissue to repair it. There's no HPV, lies. How many of those cases I've healed? They heal like this. I just healed HPV. And it wasn't magic. It was just using badge packs. That's what heals it. Okay? It's not oh look, we did a scraping and there is a virus there. And that's what did it. Oh my God, we have to kill it. Get the vaccine right away. Scam. No, just say no, thank you. Why would something be there that is a protein packet full of DNA or RNA? Why would the body do that? Oh, because it's healing tissue that was damaged. Maybe by you had a lot of rough sex that day, or maybe, oh, there was one, it was a study showing that women who have even their same partner, if the sperm is sitting, so if they have sex at night and they're sitting with the sperm at the cervix while they're laying down, it can create damage to the cervical cells, and that can cause your HPV. Okay, so after you have sex, go have a pee. Go have a nice douche. You know, I'm going to continue my vag series. I've only done one of the vag series so far. So I'm going to do the next vag series, and we're going to talk about vaginal steaming, vaginal douching, and the coffee vages. That's right. If you want to detox the vag, get the coffee up there. It's amazing. Trust me, I've done it. All right. So back on topic here. The myth is that it's, again, the boogeyman. So stop it. Just take some self-responsibility. You've not been taking care of yourself. Okay, it's time to do that. Maybe put the beer down. You know, I've got people that are like, well, I won't stop my beer and I won't stop my weed. I'm like, well, then bye, because you won't heal. Why do you think that's okay? I don't get it. Yeah, all right. You want to have a party occasionally? Sure. You know, I could have a cup of scotch, a glass of scotch every cup. I don't even know how to say it. It's been so long. A thing with the glass with the booze in it. That thing, the vessel. That, yes. You know, I've one at Christmas or something. You know, occasionally, imbibe. But after one standard drink, it's over. I'm not going to give myself a class 1 carcinogen on purpose, so that later I feel like crap and I wonder what happened, and then I gotta do all this extra cleanup. All right. Now, at least if you're going to do something like that, be aware that you have to take measures to then heal yourself afterwards, right? If you're going to be self-destructive and self-sabotaging, then at least do your due diligence and do the cleanup afterward, right? You had Woodstock. Look at all the. Did you see the pictures after Woodstock of all the debris? You know, after a big festival, all the stuff that's left, that's your body after a big party. So someone has to come in and clean up all the garbage. If you don't do that, it's just going to stay there and rot, right? Right? So flies don't make garbage. Flies are attracted to garbage. That's where you get all your so-called infections. That's when you have tissue that's really broken down, really damaged, and basically you're a zombie. You're the walking dead. You have dead tissue, and that's what microbes eat, because that's the cycle of life. When you die, the worms grow from inside you, not from outside. Isn't that fun to know? They've done studies where the animal expires, they have it in a enclosed box where nothing from the outside can get in, and it breaks right down all by its lonesome. Yeah, because it comes from your own cells. Your own cells are going, oh, thing's dead. Break it down. Break it down. Put it back in the soil, cycle of life, make it into a tree. Personally, I think I'd like to be a wolf, maybe. They're very intelligent. I think I'd like to be a wolf. Or maybe a buffalo. That would be kind of cool. Just if anyone's listening. So when I die, you know, I don't want to be in a box and I don't want to be burned. So I think I just walk into the woods and just decide to die. And then the wolf can come eat me and off I go. Or the owl could go fly like an owl. That'd be fun too. Okay, anyway, I'm getting aside. But that is your actual healing when you go through the snot and all that stuff. You're healing, you're detoxing. So when you get that, I want you to reprogram your brain and going, oh, I guess I needed a detox. You want to avoid cold and flu season? Detox before season happens. Do a coffee enema or 2. Do some juicing. Start eating fresh fruits. Do some of the homeopathic drainage. Get your organs primed for some of the stress of the weather change, right? It does stress the body to go through that. Look at me. I'm basically wearing like long sleeves and almost mucklucks at this point, right? Being cold all the time is stressful in the body. It takes energy to keep warm, right? Okay, that takes resources, and resources have wastes, and wastes need to be removed by the lymphatic system. All right, and if your liver is backed up because you've got all kinds of debris, which the liver is like your master centralized centralized government. Bad analogy, Amanda. Is the marvelous party organizer. How's that? And it has to take every signal and every input and go, okay, you, oh, you, here, okay, put the cake over there, and oh, presents go on that table, and you know, that's your liver. And if it's too overloaded, then she's going to be in the closet having a little bit of brandy and not doing any of that organizing work for you. Okay, and that means shit's going to start, pardon me, stuff. I'm trying to limit the swears, but you know, I do have a bit of a trucker mouth, and I have to rein it back in. Or what my daughter says, if I say the SHIT word, it's shaga. Because I drink shaga every morning, so she says, you mean shaga, mother? Oh yes, shaga, right? Oh, shaga. So, excuse me. Canadian Tire. Hi, I'm on my way. Sorry, I'm just a little bit late. Okay, bye. Anyway, so I'm supposed to get my tires on at Canadian Tire. Damn, I always go on too many tangents and I go too long. All right, so I have to go. But what I want to say is detoxing, you don't feel great necessarily, okay? And that's the healing response. And so that means you're going in the right direction. When you are in suppressive, you might seem fine, you might function normally, but you're a ticking time bomb, okay? You don't want to keep suppressing things. I understand temporary suppression to get through a certain phase of your life or some kind of event or whatever, but you better get back on the holistic train super quick and right that wrong, okay? So anyway, my website is yummymummyemporium.ca or .org. I have both of those. And I'm banned from Facebook right now. So I'm on my Yummy Mummy page under my dad's Facebook account. Thanks, Dad. And I'm banned for 30 days for posting some kind of piece of truth, because guess what? There's an agenda to shut you up. If you want to speak truth, it's getting very difficult. Better get on to your people soon before it's shut right down, okay? So you can like me on Facebook. That's awesome. This will be on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is just my business name. And please like, subscribe, share, do the dance, make nice comments, whatever. And we'll talk again soon, okay? If I find some cool links, or if I forget something, like if I didn't say something I wanted to say, then I'll try to lop it into the description, okay? Bye. Thanks so much.